begin! Hello everybody in Facebook land. I am Rockin' Chef Jeff, and this is Rockin' the Kitchen with Chef Jeff. Alright, enough of that. We have the most unbelievable show you could possibly imagine. So duct tape your head, because it's gonna explode. Today, we are not only gonna make a Rockin' Hummus, but today is now officially Green Bay Packers Appreciation Day. Well, at least in this house it is. I don't think it's nationally recognized yet, but I'm gonna work on that. So we've got green and gold till I'm dead and cold. We've got Kayla rocking the Jordy Nelson jersey. And Kayla's going to be our camera person today, and we'll see if she's a little less critical than my previous camera person.
Are you kidding me? You're literally perfect.
But, you guys, I am just so excited, I can't even say it. We have a very special guest today. Not going to ruin it. We're just going to head up to the kitchen and I'm going to introduce you. But this guy rocks the Green Bay Packers almost as much as I do. So follow me on up to the kitchen and let's rock the hummus. After I turn everything off. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kenneth Steedly.
What up?
My man. Kenny and I have been friends for many, many years. We have been bandmates. He plays a rockin' bass. He plays a rockin' drums. He plays a rockin' television during football season. And as you can see, the dude bleeds green and gold.
Rogers.
So, a little love for the Green Bay Packers today. And hold on. We got to show Alyssa. Show your Green Bay love. Okay, trust me, she loves them. Just trust me on that. Alright, so today, Kenny.
Yes.
Tell me about the best hummus you ever had. Forget it sucked. Alright. The hummus, what we are going to do today is we are going to make hummus so good, and I posted this earlier this week, the sun may explode.
Wait, hold on, Jeffrey.
Bring
I think we need a hypothesis.
Okay.
Kenneth,
What?
what do you think it's going to taste like?
I think it's gonna taste awesome.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to that.
All right. So make sure you got the duct tape around your head. I got a hat on. Kenny, I don't know what to tell you, man.
You're in trouble.
You're in danger. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold that thought.
Oh, we're in for a treat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Boom.
the cheese of destiny.
There we go.
You are not a Green Bay Packer fan if you do not wear a wedge of cheese on your head. And word warning, December 10th, they're coming to Brown Stadium. Kenny, give me your score.
Score? 31-3.
My prediction, Green Bay Packers 179, Cleveland -3. Because if anybody can lose points in a game, it's the Cleveland Browns. Right? Am I right?
You are absolutely right.
All right. Oh, we got Kasha does not like the cheese. She's a Bears fan. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just put her in here in the peanut gallery.
Hi, man.
All right, the peanut gallery is taken care of. So we're gonna make hummus today. So what is hummus, Kenny? I'm glad you asked. See, I knew that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that.
Yeah, well, hummus is simply a dip. And you can use it to dip vegetables, chips. I personally prefer pita chips. You can dip pita bread in it. Now, hummus is primarily, there's a big argument actually. I was actually studying this the other day because I'm a complete nerd and I got way too much time on my hands. And I was looking at the origins of hummus. And there's actually a big debate going on whether it's Greek or Middle Eastern. Some of the earliest records actually have it being done in Egypt, which is kind of cool. But you know, the Greeks say no, we did it first. I don't like arguments, so I'm just gonna let them fight it out. But what I do know is in this kitchen, hummus is herring. Right. Oh yeah. So come on over here. I'm going to show you what we got going on today. So first, let's talk about the ingredients. No, me, not them, not me. All right. So the key ingredients of hummus. Now this is tahini. Tahini is basically just ground sesame seeds, and it's a paste that's made out of it with some oil. I have had friends tell me you can make your own tahini, but to me that's way too tahardy. Right? That's awesome, right?
That was awesome.
All right, thank you. All right, see, we need to be like Conan O'Brien. So every time I make a joke, you need to pan it on Kenny and watch him laugh. Yeah, Kenny could be my shill laugh today. Hi, Alyssa, come and hit her.
Don't hit me. Stop touching me.
I didn't mean to hit her.
You guys.
I didn't mean to hit her. But all right, so back here. So now we have garbanzo beans. Garbanzo beans, otherwise known as chickpeas. Personally, I like saying garbanzo better. It's an awesome word.
That should be like a stage name or something. Welcome to Garbanzo.
There you go. You know, I actually think it should be a word of the day. You know, just in the middle of a meeting, just stand up, Garbanzo! Right? That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Get the preacher to say that tomorrow. Think Pastor Kitchen could rock that?
I don't know.
I'll bet he could work that into Psalms. All right, so what else do we have here? So we got garbanzo beans. We've got cumin. And I'm just going to leave that alone. We've got olive oil, sea salt. Ooh, there's a few more things. Hold on.
Oh, maybe.
Good. I forgot the two of the most important ingredients ever. Lemons. Got to get my French on today, you know what I'm saying? Lemon. You put the lemon on the kitchen. And garlic. Y'all know how much I love garlic. And speaking of garlic, your favorite Facebook chef hit the mother load last night. You guys know from watching my previous videos how much I love the minced garlic, right? And you probably saw how the other day I was heartbroken because I went to my fridge and I didn't have any minced garlic.
Yeah.
All right? Because it hurt, man. It hurt indeed, man.
A little part of me died inside.
A little part. All right, but so I'm at the store last night. Yeah, look at that. Boom! This will take me at least 2 days to go through. All right. And then, of course, the most important ingredients, as I've told you many, many times.
It's Jeffrey.
Well, duh. Here's to you. Kenny is enjoying a Great Lakes Brewery Edmund Fitzgerald Porter. Not quite as pretty as wine, but, you know, to each his own.
I'm having water.
Kayla's rocking water.
Probably the healthiest choices.
Oh, yes.
Because we are a legal household, at least while we're on camera. All right. So.
Behind the scenes.
Oh, and then finally, the dog treats are an optional ingredient. I personally prefer Alpo when I'm making hummus if I want to add a little kick to it. So I'll probably just leave the bacon bites alone and leave that for the dogs.
It might make the ingredients a little rough.
Touche. Well done.
I love this show.
This is why he's getting paid the way he is. All right. So, one of the great things about hummus, the reason, and I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite things to make in the world. Because even though this is probably going to be like a 4-hour show, actually there's only about 15 minutes of prep time here. I mean, it's really a pretty easy dish, which kind of brings me to the next thing, the tools. What do we need to make it? So come on over here. So you need a quarter measuring cup, or a quarter cup measuring cup, 1 tablespoon. That's 1. So you notice there's not 2 here, just 1.
Make sure you can count, that's important.
Yeah, counting works. A nice sharp butcher knife, and I guess this passes for one. A can opener, which I've already used. This is really important. This is a rubber spatula. You're gonna need this for scraping and stuff. And this is one of my Dollar General specials? I don't really care. All right, and cutting boards, of course. I got my big one. And I just love this stupid thing. It's really useless because it's so small, but it's the first thing that I ever bought for my house, so it holds a special place in my heart. don't judge. And then finally, this is the guy right here. So this is a Black & Decker food processor. You are going to need one of these because a blender might work, but a food processor is going to chop everything really finely, because what you want to do is you want to take all this stuff and make a nice thick cream out of it, okay? So you got to have your food processor. If you don't have one of these, stop the video, run to Home Depot, Walmart, wherever, buy one, come back and check out the rest of the video. Okay. Did you get that?
I did.
Okay.
Why aren't you taking notes?
It's all up here in the head.
It's all up there. He's a Packer fan.
Just
We're
like
black.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got everything in his head. Wins game shows, wins football games. It's all up here.
Boom!
All up here.
All right. So the nice thing is that you don't need an oven. You don't need oven mitts. The only dangerous thing, guys, is just sharp objects. You're going to need a colander. And I've showed you one of these before. It's not a calendar. It's a colander, fellas. Remember the terms. Your wife will be so impressed when you say, "Dear, where did you put the colander?" Just try that one day to Ryan.
I will.
And she'll be like,
Colander?
"Colander?" This is just so I can mix my dry ingredients. A bowl, which you'll see later. And I'm not really sure exactly what this is, but I'm going to use it to strain the lemon juice. I honestly don't know what it is. If somebody wants to comment and tell me what it is, that'd be groovy. But I'm using it. It's the perfect size to squeeze lemon juice out without getting seeds. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
There you go. I love this guy. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is you want to mix the tahini and lemon juice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and call out the measurings as I do this. And just a word of warning, don't follow exactly what I'm doing, but listen to what I'm saying, because I'm going to be saying one thing, but I'm going to be doing another. I'm going to a party on Monday, and so I'm making a double batch of this stuff. So I'm going to tell you guys, give you guys the ingredient measures for one batch, but I'm going to be doubling them. And the doubling works perfectly on this. So, what's up?
Mom said press down on canned tuna or chicken to drain it for the little thingy.
Is that what that is? That's disgusting. Canned tuna is an abomination. Back up, please.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We don't want the close up. You guys don't want to see me close. Trust me, you don't want to see me close up. I am disgusting to look at. So did you guys like that intro today? A little crazy train to get things started? That was hot, right? Nobody's saying anything, so I'm guessing it bombs. All right. Let me give you guys a little hint about tahini. Take a look at that. That's all oil and stuff. It just settles to the top. So what we need to do, or actually what Kenny is going to have to do, is when you're working with tahini, before you do anything with it, we gotta mix it up.
Gotta mix it up.
All right. So take this knife and just get it in circles until all the oil's gone. And see, you can see the consistency is pretty hard, right?
It is.
It's pretty thick.
How you feeling?
It is. I'm getting a workout here. It's good. Getting into preseason shape before the Packers run the table.
There you go.
16-0, perfect season, playoffs, and take down Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Amen.
Final score, 82-2.
Absolutely.
We'll give them a safety.
I don't think they deserve that.
Well, they did lose. Which brings me actually to a good topic. We lost T.J. Lang and J.C. Treader.
That is true.
Two stalwarts from the offensive line. Now, you could make the argument that J.C. Treader was hurt too much, and Corey Linsley's really coming out as a pretty, I would say, top-rate center. T.J. Lang, though, was a major force in guarding that O-line. Thoughts? Go.
He was, but you know what? I'm not too worried about it because Ted Thompson's always good at having some jars on the shelf. So I think we'll see some people step up in the preseason to make the team on that line. Also with the added addition of Martellus Bennett. Martavius Bennett on the
Adams.
As the
I've made the same mistake. It's Martavius Adams.
Yeah, Martavius as a added receiver there on the line, or tight end on the line. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. I think we've got a pretty strong line there, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus, Rodgers is always good at extending the play another 20 seconds, well beyond what most quarterbacks can do. So I think we'll be good.
You know what I think is funny is everyone talks about Tom Brady being the greatest ever. You know, and I have finally conceded, okay, 6 Super Bowls, the guy's kind of good,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, you can't, and it's a shame, if Aaron Rodgers played in any other era that Tom Brady wasn't, they'd be saying the same thing about him. Am I right? Of course I'm right.
Amen.
It's my show, I'm right. Gosh. All right. But, you know, Aaron Rodgers still has the highest cumulative quarterback rating in NFL history.
If you start from the time that Aaron Rodgers entered the league till now and take Tom Brady's stats from then until now, Aaron Rodgers is actually the better quarterback.
Right.
Which, to me, leads me to say that overall, Aaron Rodgers is going to have the better career.
Okay, but, and here's the big argument, and this is where I can't argue. You know, rings don't lie. And let's face it, at the end of the day, when you're talking about greatness, you talk about championships, right?
That's true.
Michael Jordan, how many he's got?
Yep.
I don't know, I'm not a basketball fan. How many does LeBron? LeBron's got, what, 3 or 4 now?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, but Brady's got 6. So, and my dad loves the Patriots. I don't know why he loves the Patriots. I've questioned this for years. Personally, I think it's a genetic misfire. But, you know, but he does root for my Packers.
Yeah.
So I'll give him that. All right, anyway, that's enough football talk for now. So we're going to thought. All right, so what I'm going to do is the first step is we're going to mix the tahini, which is really disgusting, and lemons. So what we're going to do, though, with the lemons is we're going to cut these in half, and then we're going to squeeze the juice out. Now, I'll tell you a little trick. Before you do that, you want to roll these on a hard surface. Your head works, too. You want to do that. And so and what this does is this kind of softens them up a little bit. We're going to cut these in half using a sharp knife. That's a knife.
Don't cut yourself.
That's not a knife.
That's a knife. Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
That's it.
For those of you under the age of 25 and don't know that reference, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Apology accepted.
Apology accepted. All right. So I'm just going to slice these in half. So this is where my little bowl. Isn't this bowl cute?
Aww.
This is my little bowl. That's my little bowl. I love this
nice.
bowl.
And it's great because it has green on it.
It does.
That's Green Bay Packers.
I don't use this bowl at all, but I love it because it's small.
I use this to make ice.
It's like the runt, right? All right. So what you want to do when you're squeezing now at Aaron's house. Aaron has this doohickey thing with like this big, it kind of actually looks like the dome of the Football Hall of Fame, and you just jam the lemon on it and you just torque it down, and it squeezes all the juice out, and it's got little slots in it to hold the seeds. And it's dope, homie. All right, but I don't have that, so I'm using this tuna thing, which is, and again, canned tuna is disgusting. All right, just no. All right.
Fake fish of the sea.
That's right. No, I do like tuna as sushi.
That is true. That is true.
But that canned crab's got to go. Somebody ought to take Charlie from Sunkiss and just fish him out. And all right, so just take it, hold it in your hand, and squeeze like your life depended on it, which it does, because if you make bad hummus, I will hunt you down. Look at that. See, the seeds are falling in there. It's just beautiful. You just want to squeeze that real hard. Get all that. See, I just pretend these lemons are Indomitian Sue. Or as I like to call him, Donkey Kong Sue. He's with Miami, still with Miami.
He's still with Miami.
They didn't cut him?
Not yet.
They should have. I'll never forget him stepping on that guy. Who was that? It was TJ Lang.
That's TJ Lang.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now Lang's playing for the Lions.
Well, he stepped on him and then he kicked him.
Yeah. Now he's playing. Now TJ's playing for the Lions.
Yep.
You imagine him and Donkey Kong on the same team? All right. So.
Oh, PC!
PC is in the house. Pastor Chris McCombs.
What's up, Jeff?
What is up, my brother? We're making some hummus here, homie. All right. We're almost done now. Now, the recipe for a single serving of the hummus calls for 1 lemon. And they say about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, but I just use 1 lemon per batch of hummus. Since I'm doubling this, I'm making 2. All right. So I've got 2 lemons in here. Now, if you don't have a strainer, thank you, you can actually use your hand by just kind of holding your fingers over it and squeezing it through your fingers. That's not exactly accurate. It doesn't work as well as I would like it to. But hey, that's just life. Oh, now Kenny, now we come to the part of the show. Now we come to the part of the show where we take a drink of our beverage.
We come to the part of the show.
And we toast our favorite team. Packers on 3.
Wait. I want to be part.
1, 2, 3. Packers! Boom. Alright.
Keeping it clean.
Now we get to the tahini. I'm just going to stir this up a little more. Kenny did a fantastic job getting this prepped. But you can't stir this stuff too much. Let me just warn you about tahini. Tahini is an obnoxious thing to work with because it is really slimy and it's like 90% oil. So it's not real easy to clean up. So just be careful with it. Try not to get it all over everything. So the single recipe, and you can actually see on this knife, I mean, you can't get it off. It's disgusting. I've actually never tried tahini raw.
Please don't.
Anybody want to try it? Kenny, my boy, man.
Oh.
My boy.
Gotta get a little sample there. Gotta make sure it's thick enough, but you don't want it to spill. Get a little contextualization. And then right when it's ready, just has a little bit of flavor to it. It's a little bit bland. But it definitely hits the spot. It's good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You always want to be sure to sample your ingredients that you're using. You want to make sure it's good to use, that there's nothing wrong with it.
Well done, Kenny. He's also my guinea pig because I won't do that. I got a few ghost peppers he's gonna try later. He just doesn't know it yet. All right.
Well, he does now.
So now we're gonna take the tahini. Again, the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup. So just gonna dump that in here. Boom.
We want some ghost peppers.
I want some ghost peppers too, actually. All right.
You heard him, Dad. The fans want it.
The fans want it. The fans probably won't get that because I promised I'd never do that again.
Not today.
Hi, Alyssa.
Stop putting the camera on me.
All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to dump all this in the food processor.
Kasha.
And this is where having a nice spatula, silicone or rubber spatula comes in because you want to make sure you get everything. Now I'm going to tell you right now, this stuff sticks to the sides all over the place. So you really do want to make sure that you got one of these. And if you don't, you probably shouldn't be watching this show. Just saying. All right. So we're going to plug this in as soon as I can get the cord out. And we're going to let this guy go for about 30 seconds. Hi, Macy.
Oh, hi.
So what we're going to do now take a look at that, and you'll notice it's a little, it's got a little texture to it. That's okay. Sometimes I get texture in this, sometimes I don't. It's just, I'm not sure what causes it, but it's never tasted bad or anything like that. So we're going to let this go again for a little bit more. I'm going to let that go for about a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing our garlic. Yeah, baby. Right there. Boom, that's money right there. All right, we're going to stop that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start preparing our dry ingredients. Kayla, if you're getting comments, go ahead and fire them out.
Okay. We want some ghost peppers. And then there's a hi from Macy to Alyssa. Okay. The whole family is watching the Jeffrey Food Network from the McCombs.
Boom! You guys, Chris, you got to go back and watch this from the beginning because I opened it up with the intro to Crazy Train.
We're
It was
making
killer.
hummus, by the way.
Of course, he knows we're making hummus.
Okay, see ya.
All right.
Hi, Jen.
All right. What we're going to do now is I'm going to cut up some garlic. Now, garlic, let me just kind of talk real quick about garlic. You can buy garlic in a lot of different ways. You guys have seen me use a minced garlic. For this dish, I like it when I'm making stuff like this or salsa, it's all about fresh.
Yep.
Right? And you've had my salsa before.
I have. Salsa's killer.
And that's because it's all fresh ingredients. This is the same way. So what I'll do is you buy a bulb of garlic, and if you can see, the bulb of garlic is actually all these individual, and each of these is called a clove, okay? And so what you do is, what I've done here is I've broken off 4. I got one big one and a couple smaller ones. Garlic is one of those things that you do however much you want, okay? And you know, the recipe itself says 1 clove of garlic. You know, if you want to follow direction. I love garlic. I love it a lot. And so I will typically, since I'm making a double batch, I'm going to use 4 of these cloves. I like to get at least one pretty super big one in there. Now you can see this sucker's all wrapped. See, look at that, Kenny.
That is wrapped for
It is.
sure.
Oh, by
That
the
is
way,
definitely wrapped.
You have a fan.
I have a fan.
Yeah.
Who's that?
PC's, the Cheesehead mascot is awesome.
Hey, Chris, PC, this brother here was my bass player at my other church, and this guy and I used to rock the 4th of July parade every year. For how many years did we do that?
Many.
7 or 8.
7 or 8. And, dude, we rocked downtown Stowe. We would do, remember Sweet Home Alabama?
Remember that?
We did that Stevie Ray Vaughan tune. We did Smooth Criminal, I think, one
Oh
year.
yeah, that was fun.
Kasha!
You used to have a lot of fun. All right, hey, she's not the star of this show.
Sorry.
She's trying to mac on my fame here. All right,
Sorry.
but let me get into here a little bit about the garlic. So you can see it's all wrapped up. So now you can sit here and try to get all that off. I'm going to show you a really cool trick. And actually, Erin Heron showed me this trick. I got to give her props. So what you want to do is you want to take a big knife like this, kind of lay it down like that, hold the base end down on the clove, and just BAM! And you have to say BAM, by the way. And notice how the covering just falls right off of that. I mean, it's as simple as that. All right, so I'm going to do that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, BAM! It's beautiful. Thank you.
Wonder if it'll work if you say pack.
Oh no, then there will be nothing left because that's like nuclear. Ready? BAM! And one more. This is a smaller one, so we're gonna go with a slightly smaller BAM. Okay, we're gonna go with like a BAM bat.
A bam bat.
Ready?
Bam bat! Mom says point the blade the other way so you don't cut your hand.
Well, that takes away the fun.
It takes away the danger.
Highway
I
to
mean,
the danger
This is a
zone.
men's show.
That's right, man. We live on the edge in this house. You know what I'm saying?
Living on the edge.
Speaking of living on the edge.
Oh, PC.
Speaking of living on the edge, Kayla's going to share a little
Hi.
event. Kayla's going to share a little event that happened to us last night here in Firestone Park.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and do that while I'm cutting up the garlic?
Okay. Do you want it on you or?
On the garlic, you can put it on the garlic
Okay.
while I'm chopping it up.
Okay. So last night, Dad and I were walking our dogs, Hogan and Kasha.
Because we're responsible pet owners.
Yes, we are. And so we're just walking, we're around in the corner, Dad sees our neighbors out, so of course he goes to talk to them. Our friend Dave is about to pull out of the driveway to go to Walmart. But of course, dear Jeffrey here stopped him.
I'm a hero! I'm a hero! It's true!
I know. So of course I'm over by the corner with my share of the dogs, Hogan. And this big van just comes barreling around the corner and slams into the back of a car that's parked on the side of the road, and then it just keeps going.
It went BAM!
It went bam. It was a big bam.
It was a big BAM.
It was a big bam. It was bigger than the bam that Dad's using to use on this garlic.
It was a Bama Lamba BAM.
It was. So yeah, it was intense. The car is completely totaled. So I'm sure pictures are to come, courtesy of Jeffrey.
Kayla called the police, but tell them about what the van was doing.
Swerving a lot. The bumper came off. Oh, it also knocked off its the
bow
symbol.
tie.
Yeah, it was a Chevy. It's a Chevy Venture. And there was a lot of smoke, so we couldn't even see the license plate, so we couldn't do any proper justice. But it was swerving. It almost hit a lot of other cars. And as Dad would say, this is why you park in the driveway.
That's right. That's exactly why parking. And that's also why an 18-year-old girl does not go out by herself at Firestone Park at 11 o'clock at night. Boom! Dad speaks truth.
And
Mic drop.
daughter ignores.
Mic drop.
Yeah, mic drop. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix a few dry ingredients here. Another really important element is sea salt.
They want to make sure they can see you.
That makes me quite uncomfortable. All right, so this is Mediterranean sea salt from the area of Mediterranean.
I think we just answered the question.
Which is what?
Is it Greek or Mediterranean?
It's Mediterranean. See? All right. So the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon, right there. See the 1 and the TSP? TSP stands for teaspoon. Does not stand for anything else.
Tablespoon is TB.
Totally sweet people.
Totally sweet people. Which...
That's what we are right here. I mean, it's like you can't ask for anything better.
All right. Kenny, what do you think so far?
It's awesome.
This is awesome, right?
This is a rocking show.
You having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
A good time, okay. The only thing that can make it better is
Jordan Nelson.
another drink of wine.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
Long
Or as we used to say, here's looking up the Ayatollah's robes.
Yeah, okay.
That's an old Wesleyan thing. All right, so the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons or 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm sorry. Again, I'm doubling it. And you guys have seen, I love me some salt. And don't get on me, because my sodium levels are normal in my blood, so no angry comments about, you're going to have a heart attack. Because I'm not. At least not because of salt. All right, now we're going to do half a teaspoon of, now cumin, if you've never used cumin before, do you know what cumin smells like on its own?
Pretty strong.
This is one of my favorite spices. I love this. This is the
Can we
real.
smell that through the phone?
Oh,
It's like Brave New World. Was that Smell-O-Vision? No, that was Willy
the
Wonka.
Feely.
That was Willy Wonka.
Dude,
yeah.
I just totally wrecked a classic by comparing it to Willy Wonka.
Okay, Dad, Brave New World. Yeah, that was the Feelies.
The Feelies. Okay, Willy Wonka was the Smell-O-Vision.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone will tell us if it's not.
That's stupid Indomitian soup.
Trust me, I know Brave New World.
That's right. All right. And by the way, if you hear boy band music in the background, it's not mine. Alyssa's destroying.
Alyssa's watching that.
Alyssa's destroying my television. I had a Van Halen concert on there earlier, and she turned it off.
The television was crying earlier.
All right. So I'm going to use a whole teaspoon of cumin. But this stuff, this is one of the greatest spices ever made. I don't know how it's made, but I'm going to guess there's something called a cumin plant, and they grind it. Right? Pretty brilliant. I am an analyst for a living, so I know what I'm talking about.
No. It's a great smell, though.
It is. But I use this in a lot of my Mexican dishes, too. So, all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of these dry ingredients here. We're going to take the garlic, and you notice it's chopped up pretty fine. That's about as much patience as I have with garlic. Now, garlic is really strong. If you've never worked with raw garlic before, do not put this in your food processor. Or, no, you want to put it in. Don't put it in your garbage disposal. That's bad.
Tell them why.
Because it stinks, baby.
No.
All right, so we're going to take all these dry ingredients. We're going to dump it in here. And we're also going to add, I do have my recipe sitting up here. This is one of the few things that I actually use a recipe for, but I took a base recipe a long time ago, and then I just kind of added my own stuff to make it my own. So now this particular recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Again, I'm doubling it, so that makes Caleb rock me with your math sense. Come on!
4 tablespoons.
4! And I'm so proud of her. Thank you. That's 1. You guys just taste this Chez right here.
Oh, heck yeah, my dude.
That's 3. And boom! See, Emerald says, what did he say? Bam?
Bam.
That's lame. Alright. We're going to take that. We're going to put this in the food processor. And we're going to rock this. We're going to rock, and we're going to blend this for about 30 seconds or so. That's looking good.
Get me right round, baby.
Now, one of the things that you guys are going to see in this video that I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of this where I stop and I scrape everything down off the sides, because a lot of times food processors, the blades sit a little bit high and they tend to kind of push stuff around. So you want to make sure that everything that you put in this food processor gets blended and gets processed. All right. I should do that with a beat, man. And maybe do a rap to it. Got my hummus! Got my hummus, yo! Oh, wait a minute. Got my hummus! Now, let me talk a little bit real quick about consistency. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make is not processing or blending this stuff enough. Because the idea is you do not want hummus that is chunky, you know, and especially when we start adding the chickpeas. That's going to give it a lot more chunks, so you really want to make sure that everything is being blended really well. Otherwise, I mean, if you like chunky hummus, you know, that's fine. But I personally prefer a nice light and creamy hummus. And you get that by running it through here for obnoxiously long times. And you're going to see that here now as we start adding the chickpeas. So, the first thing we got to do is we're going to go ahead and take our... Kenny, what is it?
Colander!
Boom!
Wow.
All right. All right. And we're going to add, now, again, the recipe calls for 1 can of garbanzo beans.
Oh, but nay.
And, it, you know, it really doesn't matter what brand you use. I mean, garbanzo beans are, you know, garbanzo beans. Now, I had already opened these. So what we're going to do, we're going to shake that out, and then we're going to rinse these real good. Now, if you want to take the time and you have nothing better to do, you can skin these, because these do have a skin on them. And that will help make it a little bit smoother. But I will tell you, I've been making this for, I don't know, a couple of years now. I have never taken the time to skin them, and I've never made a bad batch of hummus.
True.
So, we're just going to go ahead and make sure that those are nice and rinsed. Use cold water, too. If I was Alton Brown, I'd give you a whole scientific reason for it. Because the electrons in the chickpeas will bond with the protons in the tahini. And it'll blow up and blow out the sun, and everybody will die, and you won't have any friends left. So, thank you, Alton Brown, for being a bummer. All right.
Dang.
Do what?
What?
All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take about half of the chickpeas right now, and we're going to dump it into the food processor. All right. Now we're going to start really slow. We're going to start it on 1. You hear it starting to bog down a little bit. So we're going to add a little bit of water to it to help the consistency. And you can hear the processor start to speed up a little bit as I add the water. Hear that? All right. So what the water does is the water helps give it a little liquid and helps cream it up a little bit. You could hear that it was almost straining a little bit, right? And then as I added a tablespoon of water at a time, you notice that you could hear it speed up, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Right. Somebody comment right, so I know you're listening. Have another glass of wine. Okay. And today I am rocking Boda Box Merlot. This is my favorite wine on the planet.
That I found in the store.
And it makes me so happy to drink it. All right. So now, as we've done already, we're going to take our rubber spatula. And by the way, green is the only color you can use. If you don't have a green spatula, your hummus is going to suck.
If you use blue, everything just breaks.
Yeah. Or it fails at the last minute. Much like Matt Stafford.
Or it fumbles, kind of like Tony Romo.
When he plays.
When he's holding the field goal kick.
You can't see what I'm dabbing.
That's right. Kayla's my dabber here. All right. So that's nice. And so again, what we did was we just cleaned off the sides. Now we're going to take the rest of the chickpeas and we're going to dump those bad boys in there. And here's actually, you can see here's the skin right there. That's what it looks like. So they're not real big. You know, they don't really cause too much of a problem. Now with the food processor, you want to make sure that locks, because this is actually set with a safety feature that it won't.
Sweet.
Ooh, it don't work. Let me stick my hand in there and fix it. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. No, not you, though. Sticking your hand in. All right.
Oh, Jeffrey.
All right. So I'm going to fire this up again, and we're going to run this now for about 2 minutes. So while we're doing that, I'm going to add a few more tablespoons of water. Love my hummus. What I'm going to do now, and we're pretty much done. Now it's all about consistency. So you can take a look at it, and you can see it looks pretty good actually. Now at this point, what I did was typically for one batch, you can get away with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. If it still needs a little more, if it's still a little too thick, I don't recommend using any more water. I would add just a little olive oil. You know, just keep running it in the processor again for about another minute or so. I typically will do it in about 1 minute increments. Because again, the idea is you want to just get it as smooth as you possibly can. I think the first time I made it, it was pretty thick, and Erin was trying it, and she was like breaking chips. It was awesome. So I took it all out, put it back in the food processor, ran it again, and added a little more olive oil, and that was all it took. So, and I would just go by like 1 tablespoon at a time, because it doesn't take much. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get it runny. You don't want it to just be real sloppy. And so I'm gonna run this for a little bit more. I'm gonna scrape it down one more time. But look at that though. I mean, look at the consistency. It's nice and nice and light actually.
Beautiful.
Well, the only reason I want to run it a little longer is I want to get rid of. It still looks a little bit chunky, which is not terrible, but I'd like it to be as smooth as possible. It's not like Sabras, which is just like a paste. It's actually good though. When it's not getting recalled for salmonella. So, I'm actually going to hit it with just a little bit of olive oil, not much. That should do it. Beautiful. And that's all done. Folks, the hummus is humdum. Done. So, before we get into tasting this, let me just kind of give you some ideas and some other stuff that you can do now. 99% of the time I've always made just regular garlic hummus, just like this. And people love it. And, I've actually given this stuff away to people and they ask for it all the time, which actually makes me feel really good. But, one of the things that I have not tried yet, and hummus is just like anything, if you guys have watched me do stuff before, you've seen that I just, it's whatever I want to do, whatever I like. So, one of the things that I want to try is I want to do one of these with cilantro and jalapenos, maybe some habanero, probably not some habaneros.
Ghost pepper.
Well, this isn't something that a ghost pepper would really, I think a ghost pepper would actually ruin this. Yeah. Jalapenos would give it just a little bit of kick.
Yeah.
And I love cilantro. If you've ever used, and if you're using cilantro in anything, don't use the stuff that you get. Don't use the ground, dried.
Yeah.
Go buy it fresh. Take the time, pick off the leaves, do cilantro. I can sniff that stuff all day. I'm really weird. Actually, I have done that before. It was awesome. When the police found me, I was so happy. They couldn't do anything except take me home. So, now, but another version that I made was I actually roasted red peppers in the oven, and I made roasted red pepper hummus. What that did and they were just the red bell peppers, right? Yeah. And what that did was it gave it, first of all, a red color, but it also gave it a kind of a roasty flavor. I wasn't real wild about it because, again, if you watched my previous videos, which I hope you did, and if you didn't, please go back and watch everything that I posted because it'll make me feel good because I really need the love. Anyway.
Well, how can you say no to that face?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm so pathetic. I'm like E.T. I'm so ugly, I'm cute.
Oh, stop.
So, anyway. Well, I've got the long neck. So, anyway, where I'm going to is, if you watched my previous video where I made the tomato stuff, it was all water. It was terrible. It got all mushy. So, you want to figure out how to get them all nice and dry and then roast them. But the flavor was good of the roasted red pepper stuff because what I did was I cut them up and I broiled them for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And then I just chopped them up, put them in the hummus, and it was okay. I think I did one too. I did another one for that one New Year's Eve. What did I do? Aaron, help me here. I made another one because I know you're watching.
Mom's quit working.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know what it was. I made sun-dried tomato. That didn't work well either because I bought one of the little packets and they were real sticky and they just didn't cut up. So I actually trashed that. But all right, so anyway, this is the base of the hummus. This is perfect just the way it is. But if you want to add your own thing to it, go for it. If you want the actual recipe written down, just send me a private message and I will. Well, yeah, you can do that too. But if you send me a private message, I'll just text you or message you with the recipe. Again, that's a base. I did a lot of this stuff to taste, but I think you'll enjoy it. So, what do we eat hummus with? Well, my personal favorite are these Stacy's pita chips. And I've always gotten a Parmesan garlic and herb.
It's the best.
These things freaking rock the bomb snickety boo boo.
That's a lot of bombing.
That's a lot of bombing. That was actually pretty weak. So, but I like them. Aaron, when I would make it for Aaron, and it's funny because I would make this at home and I would never get a chance to eat it because Aaron and Kayla would just tear it up. And if I didn't try it within a day, it was gone. But Aaron liked it with just cut up vegetables, typically red, green, and yellow peppers.
I'm allergic.
But you can enjoy it however you want. So we're gonna go ahead and have a little taste party now.
Oh, hold on, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Rick Lewis says that E.T. probably couldn't play the Star Spangled Banner on the guitar as well as you.
Well, thank you. E.T. phone rock. So, in fact, you know what? Before we're done, please hang on because I think I will end this show today with me playing the Star Spangled Banner. What do you think? You guys, is that all right? So comment yes, comment no. It's the 4th of July weekend.
It's good.
So I think I need to rock it, right?
I think so.
I started out with Crazy Train.
Rock with Chef Jeff.
There you go. All right. So I'm going to, because he's our special guest today, I'm going to go ahead and give first taste to Mr. Kenny, Bassman Steedly. But by the way, I haven't lauded your bass skills because you rock, brother.
Awesome.
Kayla,
It's perfect.
Oh, heck yeah.
come on. Everybody at home watching, I want you drooling now.
Oh, Lord.
Is it awesome? Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Okay. So that's pretty much, that's how you make hummus. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and store this in the fridge. Let it set for a while. It's still pretty runny, but once it cools down and it sets a little better and it settles up, it's going to be awesome. And hopefully I can keep this in my fridge until I go to the party without eating it. I actually bought enough ingredients to make one more batch of this. One more single batch, so I'll probably make that for myself because I never get to have hummus. And now that I'm, kind of batching it, I make stuff and I get to eat it all by myself, and it's quite nice. So, all right. So, hey, let's go downstairs and honor our country, shall we? Any questions or comments that people want me to talk about before I sign off and do this? All right. I think this calls for the atomic tomato today. What do you think? So I actually want to thank everybody for tuning in. You guys don't know how much this stuff means to me. I love doing this. It's just great fun, and I enjoy it so much. Kenny, got to thank our special guest, Kenny Steedly.
Woo!
Thank you.
Cheesehead, brother, and later on we're going to be fixing his bass. So we may Facebook Live that too.
Facebook Live every day.
That's actually not a bad idea. We're actually going to be soldering some of his pop wires together on his bass. So maybe we'll just film that anyway because we have nothing better to do. So, all right. I need to find my setting here. All right. You guys ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Whew. God bless America. God bless you for watching. Thank you so much for being here. We had a blast today. Thanks once again to my friend Kenny Steedly. Thank you to Kayla Heron for rocking the camera. Thank you to Alyssa Heron for just being upstairs and
obnoxious.
Being awesome too. So I am out of here. 1, 2, 3. Peace!